Hi everyone, it is so great to be back with you. Kris Ashley here. Today we are going to talk about the art of changing your perspective. And as you know, my book is called Change Your Mind to Change Your Reality, so this is kind of my jam. Let's get right into it. Hi, I'm Kris. When I was younger, I went through trauma that caused me to feel broken and lost. But my life changed after I had a spiritual awakening. Since then, I've dedicated my life to studying and learning from masters all around the world that have helped me to create a life of fulfillment and abundance beyond my wildest dreams. Now I'm dedicated to sharing everything I've learned so that you don't have to suffer for decades like I did. I've seen people's lives completely transformed, and I share it all right here. Have you ever had the experience of someone from a younger generation not knowing what something is? One time I was cleaning out a room in my aunt's house with my cousin's daughter, who was about 8 years old, and we found a floppy disk way back in the corner of a closet. Now my cousin's daughter said, "Hey, this is a toy," because to her it was a replica of the save icon that she's seen on her computer. Now we might laugh at this because we have the experience of it being a floppy disk, and we know that the save icon was modeled after the floppy disk. But imagine if she were in the room alone and she saw that object. She would say that's a toy, based on the fact that to her, it was a 3D object of something she's seen in the 2D. If you were alone in the room with it, you'd say, that's a floppy disk. So the question then is, what is the object? Is it a floppy disk or is it a toy? Now, before you answer that, let me throw in one more variable. What about civilizations who might have never even seen a computer before? What might they think it is other than a toy or a disk? So again, I'll ask you, is it a toy, is it a disk, or is it something else entirely? The answer is that it's none of the above. The point is that the object itself isn't anything. You place meaning on top of it when you look at it, interact with it, and label it. Your past experiences with the object dictate your understanding of it today. Now, all objects, situations, circumstances, things that happen to you, things that people say to you, and so on are all neutral. You assign meaning to them based on your own experience. In other words, information is neutral, but your response is not. The way that you process that information is not. Now, everything you've gone through in your past, the beliefs of the adults you grew up around, cultural conditioning, inherent biases, the kids who made fun of you on the playground, the boss who said you're not good enough, the crush who rejected you, all of these things help to build your belief system that serves as the lens through which you view life. Now, 10 different people could witness the same situation and see it from 10 different points of view, all adamantly insisting that their way is the right way, by the way, which is the exact reason that eyewitness testimonials are so unreliable. Now, our lens tells us that the world is a scary place or a loving place, that people are to be trusted or that you always have to be on the defense, that we have lots of opportunities or we are gridlocked into place. Now let's apply this principle to people. No one can hurt you in any kind of way unless you decide that they can. Because any action that someone has taken against you is neutral until your mind gives meaning to it and places the label of good or bad on top of it. Now, good and bad are completely subjective. What you might view as harmful, someone else who shared that experience with you might view as helpful. So you can always change your mind, right? You can decide that it doesn't matter. You can decide that good came out of it. You can decide that it was a misunderstanding or that the other person had good intentions or that not everything that person brought into your life was negative. You can change your perspective around it. So we want to be mindful of the stories that you tell yourself because you don't want to talk yourself into a story that isn't true. Because then it's going to harden into a belief and affect your thoughts and forever change the lens through which you view the world unless you consciously unlearn that. And the truth is that oftentimes people don't just do things to create chaos and havoc in your life or intentionally hurt you. Just like you have a lens and a story through which you view the world, and that drives you to make the choices that you do, so does everyone else. And if you really knew the big picture of what was going on in someone's life, you'd probably only have compassion for them. But because you only see a tiny bit of what's going on, right? Just that tip of the iceberg, you make all of these assumptions around this person and why they did the things they did. Now, one of my all-time favorite books is The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And if you have not read it, just do yourself a favor and go read it. But in the Four Agreements, he talks about 4 different agreements, and 2 of the 4 are don't make assumptions and don't take things personally. And those are powerful when you think about them. And it's such a big reason, especially don't take anything personally. It's such a big reason for why we allow people to hurt us, right? Or we perceive that they hurt us because we take things personally that we shouldn't take personally. You don't want to take anything personally because no one's doing things because of you. They're doing things because of themselves. Everyone's so wrapped up in their own mind, in their own head. They're not worried about what you're doing, while all you're thinking about is how whatever they're doing affects you, right? Everyone, including you, are just wrapped up in themselves. It reminds me of one of my favorite poems by Lane Thomas. It's called On the Day You Read This. There's this great line in there that says, no one really judges you when you walk into a room, and all they really want to know is if you're judging them. So imagine that you are sitting in your house when all of a sudden you hear meowing coming from outside. So you walk out and you find in the corner of your yard a scrawny black and white cat. And you think, I love kitties. I'm going to go pet that kitty. And you start to move towards the cat. And as you get close, it arches its back and it hisses and it swats at you viciously. Not a nice kitty, right? Now, what are some adjectives that you might use to describe this cat? Mean, aggressive, evil, rude, kind of an asshole. Maybe you're even frightened of the cat. Then let's say you stay long enough and you look at that cat and you really see that cat. And if you do that, you might notice that one of its legs is bleeding. And your mind starts to go, okay, this cat's in pain. Now, if you keep staying, you might hear little mews coming from behind the cat. And if you peek over the cat, you might see 4 tiny baby kittens with their eyes still closed. And just like that, in a split second, your perspective shifts to one of compassion, concern, empathy, and understanding. Now, you made that choice on a dime. It is that easy to change your perspective when you have all the information, right? But you have to learn to do it when you don't have all the information too. Now, you can do the same thing with people in your life. Try to see things from their perspective. Just like the cat, people who lash out at you in anger, threats, lies, other negativity are coming from a place of their own pain and their own fear. And by extending understanding and the ability to see things from their perspective, not only will you possibly make a friend, but you are teaching that person with your actions. So now they can go out into the world and do the same for someone else. And while it may seem the easy route to try to get revenge against someone or to lash out in anger or resentment, love and understanding can go a lot further. Now, both will send ripples out into the world. It's up to you if you send out ripples of hate or ripples of love. I hope you choose love today. Thank you all so much. Again, I'm Kris Ashley. So I have a very special offer. It is for a limited time. I'm really excited about this. This just became live this week. If you head over to changeyourmindtochangeyourreality.com/order book, and the link will be in the liner notes too. If you pre-order my book using that page, from that page, I will give you my course that goes along with it for free. Now, this is an $897 value. I charge $897 for this course, and I'm literally giving it to you for free because I want you to pre-order my book so bad. And you can pre-order it from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Books A Million, Google Books. You have the option, but you have to go through that page. So please go do that. Follow me. I'm at Change Your Mind with Kris, Kris with a K, on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, podcasts, Facebook. Find me everywhere. Thank you all so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day.